Alright guys, PPG Gorilla here. I guess this will be my first training video. I'm just out doing a little bit of kiting today. I forgot to start the camera. I had a couple successful launches. The way the wing's facing right now is east. There's a light breeze, like 3 miles an hour. Had a couple inflations, I should say, not launches. And then I realized that I hadn't started the camera, so I went back and set it up and started over. So here I'm just doing a little bit of pre-kiting, trying to get the wings set up, and I'm noticing as I do, the wind has shifted around a bit and it's kind of coming out of the south now. That's less than ideal because I'm getting some rotor off of those trees that you can see behind me now. So kind of watching the windsock and trying to see what's going on. Just trying to pre-kite a little bit to get a good layout so I can hook in and try a forward inflation. Anyone that knows how to fly already or has been through the training, this is probably intensely boring to you, but before I got my wing and I was trying to learn a little bit, this is all I did was scour the internet for these type of videos. Anything that I could do to soak up knowledge. So now at this point I realize the wind has shifted basically 180 degrees. So I'm thinking to myself, what the F? Looking at the windsock, I realize there's a thermal because I see a bunch of buzzers, and I think this was just effects of that thermal passing. Look at that mess. Look out, Jackson, run. At this point I realize the wind has completely shifted on me and I'm not in the best location, so I decided to go ahead and pack up and move to another spot where I had a little less turbulence or rotor. So I have a little bit better air over here. It's still not ideal because of that tree line that's upwind of me. I probably would have been better to go on the other side of the road and set up where I had a little bit better fetch without disturbed wind. But anyway, the first couple times I had my wing out was a real mess. I did not know what I was doing, obviously. I watched the aviator videos a few times, but I really spent most of the time just untangling and basically getting to know the wing. Poor choice of location for my first times with tree rotor and gusty winds, but here we go. I got all lined up and got a good layout, and I'm just kind of watching the wind and feeling the lines to try to make sure I'm centered on the wing. Feels pretty good. The wind's pretty much center. It's maybe a little bit off to my right. Here we go. Comes up pretty evenly. You can see it weather banding a little bit to the right. I was able to either get under it or maybe the wind shifted a little bit actually, but had a pretty good run. I caught the surge and could actually feel a little pressure on the brakes and had pretty good control of the wing until I ran out of space. I think my brake line's maybe a little bit too long. It feels like I really have to pull down far to feel any back pressure on those. I'm excited to meet with the instructor next month and have him look at those. So I got it all laid out again, working on getting hooked in. Sometimes it takes me several minutes. I just look everything over and take my time. I guess the more I do it, the more familiar I'll get with it, the easier it'll be. I had a few launches where my arms ended up tangled in the risers because I didn't hook in right, but okay, here we go. Inflation looks pretty good. I can see from this that I wasn't directly into the wind. The wind was a little bit more off to my right. I just wasn't able to save that one. Came down in a heaping pile of nylon and strings again. But like I said, I'm getting pretty good at untangling and resetting, so that's what I did. After I got her all stretched out and untangled, this field's a little bit twiggy, so there's some twigs and sticks that get caught in the lines. It's been fresh cut, but it's a little bit rough. Once I got everything untangled, I started to do a little bit of hand kiting just to try to get the wing reset. I only used about half of the distance there, so I figured I might be good for another inflation. I can see how hand cutting is a valuable tool to see how the wing's going to act and really determine which way the wind's blowing. I think I had a couple things. I had some variable wind and also some rotor from the trees, but I battled with it for a little while, hand kiting, until I finally got it to somewhere I felt pretty good about it. There we go. Like they say, build a wall. When it sits down nice like that, it should come up the same way next time you launch, as long as the wind hasn't changed. Here we go. Pretty good inflation. Pretty much came straight up overhead. Run, you fat bastard. Looks pretty good, felt pretty good. Falling off to the right a little bit, and I pretty much ran out of space. And gift wrapped myself as usual, so we'll work on that. You know, one thing's for sure, this is some damn good exercise. You spend a couple hours kiting, you're running your ass off back and forth, so that'll help with the end goal, and that's to get down to a good flying weight. Been going to the gym a good bit. That seems to be helping my stamina and my cardio, but I still need to lose some weight. So anyway, we'll keep at it. Guys, thanks for watching and sharing in my journey. Stay tuned. I'll work on my videos. I'll get better at PPG and hopefully get better at the videos. So stick with me. See you guys.